Chambers. Yesterday was all about change of name by an individual and its legal implications. Yeah.
Yep.
Today we're taking it a notch higher as we'll be focusing on the change of name that involves a corporate entity in Nigeria. Is that also with its own implications and stuff? Does it not have any implications?
Of course, there are implications, and we'll
So
drive it down there.
okay. So let's begin the journey.
Ah, yeah. So, change of name by a corporate entity just simply means that the corporate entity, which is a company, whether company limited or a public limited company or a business name, decides to change its original name of which it was incorporated with, and that would amount to the alteration of the company's memorandum and articles of association, as we all know. So for every existing company, they were incorporated with a name. The name and availability search was conducted on the name. It was approved by the Corporate Affairs Commission, and upon approval, they proceeded with incorporation, and it was incorporated. And after incorporation, you get your certificate of incorporation with that name and your RC number. So for the change of name now, the company has already been incorporated. That's the corporate entity. It has already been incorporated, but then they want to change that name from the originally existing name to another name. And that would amount to the alteration of certain documents of the company. However, a company might change its name based on two major circumstances. One, it might compulsorily change its name following the directives of the Corporate Affairs Commission, pursuant to the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, specifically Section 31, which talks about the kinds of names that a company should adopt, while incorporating, that's why registering, or the kinds of names the company is restricted from registering with, and the kinds of names that a company is prohibited from registering with as a name. And I'm going to, dive into that as we discuss further. And then secondly, one of the main circumstances that would lead to a company deciding to change its name would be voluntary. That is where the company decides on its own, on its own volition to change its name from whatever it was existing with. Sometimes a company might want to do that because of a restructuring of the company. Sometimes the company might want to do that because of rebranding, or there's a need for, yes, there's a new partner or new investors of the company. Sometimes it could be to draw the profit margin between that company and other competitors. So they decide to go by a name that would attract customers.
But that's risky if you ask me, because I mean, so many people may have known that particular company with a certain name, and suddenly you are changing to another. They may, I don't know. Wouldn't that actually affect the income in that particular period?
In talking about the steps to voluntary change of name by a corporate entity, would look at the processes. One of which includes that if a company voluntarily changes its name after following the due processes, the necessary steps as provided for in the by the Corporate Affairs Commission in the Companies and Allied Matters Act, when you follow the due processes of making applications, do your availability check, they have to have a board meeting, and then they have to have a special resolution as to that effect in an extraordinary general meeting, where the members of the company would come with proposed names, and then they have to agree on the name and change the name. If they eventually, fulfill all of that step, and the name was, granted and effected, they have to submit some documents like the original existing the certificate of incorporation, where the new name will now be effected with the new RC number. Now, one of the things they also need to do is do publications. The publications will now notify the public persons who are their customers to know that, we have changed our name. We are no longer this particular name, just like we talked about yesterday on change of name by individuals. They do the same thing. So you have to do publications to notify your investors, your customers, whoever it is.
Your customers don't read newspapers. How else will they be informed?
You have to just look for the best publicity process to do that. If they don't read newspapers, perhaps they also are on Facebook,
or they have their email addresses,
or
so
they
they
have
could
their
just
email
send.
addresses where you have to send messages. But we should not forget that, when the meetings are carried out, most times it's not just the board that gets involved, especially when such alteration is going to be done voluntarily by the company. Shareholders would also be informed,
Okay.
and then persons who are major part of the companies would be involved. For instance, I don't think for instance, we are customers to banks, existing banks. Most times banks merge. Yeah, and when they merge, their names changes. Most of us don't read newspapers, but we hear news. In this Nigeria, sometimes they even need newspapers to hear this news. So it just flies around and they tell you, oh, this bank is no longer this bank. And then you have customers already know that, well, this bank is no longer this bank, but I bank with this bank, the name is now this. Now, talking about legal implications, driving from all of these discussions, sometimes when this restructuring goes on and on by the company, especially when it has to do with the change of name, I'm sure you would want to ask, what happens to the customers, especially those or the investors who already have, their investments there or their accounts there with the originally existing names. Now, it stands as same. It hasn't changed at all, except where, a particular company would want to change its name and then decides to substitute its name from a PLC, that's a public limited company, to a limited company. Now, that is not a change of name. That is a conversion of the company.
Okay.
Yeah. And when you're converting a company, there are processes that a company must follow as stipulated in the Companies and Allied Matters. There are provisions. You must follow those provisions as it's stipulated there to change or to convert your company. Now, that does not mean that there's a change of company. It means that the company has been converted from a particular existing structure of entity to another one. Also, in the compulsory change of name of a company, it is either the Corporate Affairs Commission gives directives sometimes, or the courts may give directives, and I've stated the process of which this can play out. Now,
why will they give such
directive?
What would make them to?
Yes, that's what I want to talk about. Okay. The circumstance. Now, if following the provision of Section 31, sub 1 and 4 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, that stated that if a company has an identical name that could mislead the object of an already existing company.
Why will they register them in the first place?
Yeah, or because a company has a similar name, as an already existing company, or an identical name, whatever the case may be. The company might be, compulsorily required to change their name to another company. However, a company might be registered, because of course everyday companies get registered. Now, a company might conduct its availability search and then has an existing name that sounds similar to another name. They might not be spelled the same, but they sound similar, which might mislead their customers. Now, in such circumstances, the already existing company might just put up a letter to that company, the second company, requesting them to voluntarily change their name, because we already exist with Adanla, and then you exist with Adama, and somehow our customers will be misled, So why not just change your name, voluntarily? And then if the company does not comply with the application or with the letter of the already existing company, they would now write to the Corporate Affairs Commission as a petition to compulsorily make that second company change their name. And this happens within 6 months to 6 weeks.
My question stands.
Why would they approve the name
in the first place?
Yes. You can never just trust any existing organization or human being 100%. Like I said, it's possible for companies to be registered with similar name, either in sound or in spellings, or in resemblance, kinda. So it's just possible. You might just be Ruth, and then I decide to spell my own Ruth with
perhaps
an O Exactly. But then they were all pronounced as Ruth. Now the spellings might come to CAC, and sometimes, like in fact most times,
Yeah, because I
they,
mean,
they
they
call
run
the
checks.
attention. Yeah, most times, yeah, they run checks. Most times they call the attentions of parties who are intending to register this company. Sometimes they don't call the attention of the parties. It just goes to the point of being registered. So, but then whoever has that already existing name might draw the attention of the CAC. Like I said, there's no perfection in any process of, doing things. There's no possible perfection. So when such instances occur, it is required of the airing company to comply with the letter or comply with the petition. If you don't comply with the petition, then the aggrieved company might have to institute an action in court, and when they institute an action in court, they'll be suing the airing company and the CAC for not even giving directives for the airing company to change their name as required by them, and they will be seeking for damages, and most times they will be requiring for compulsory change of name of the second company, that's the airing company, and they might be requiring that they should also be stopped. Like they'll give an injunction. They should be, stopped by continuous use of the name, pending when they comply with the requests or
Will that
the
affect
directives.
their business? That means everything. Is it like a shutdown? Because I mean, if you're not using the name, will the business continue?
Yeah, when a particular company has been restrained by the courts, given an injunction, it could be perpetual, it could just be for temporary for a period of time, following for the fact that they want you to comply with a certain directives that have been given. So that means if you are restrained from using that name, you're going to not be doing your business with that name. You have to stop doing your business with that name until you comply with the directives of either the Corporate Affairs Commission or the courts, as the case may be.
So earlier you mentioned something about banks merging, and it has been, a problem to some customers, because sometimes you go in and then they'll start telling you, okay, when you did this or when you took this loan, it was under this name. Now you have to, they now begin to give you certain things you do before either you are able to reclaim something, or how will that be? I mean, are they not supposed to have this smooth transition so that it shouldn't really matter if
affects the parties? What happens in such instances is that the persons involved, the customers involved, like us, we are said to be parts of an agreement, like a contract agreement with these banks. And if a bank had decided to merge with another bank to bear a new name, like a new structure, it does not make our contract with the previous bank void. However, parties may agree that a new contract should be initiated to substitute for the old contract. That is, if I'm banking with Roots Banking, Nigeria Limited, PLC. Whatever it is, PLC, and then I started with savings accounts, and I'm with Ruth, and soon Ruth just merged with Adana and became Ruth Adana, or just adopted a name, or either of the bank decides to buy the other one. It does not affect my contract. It hasn't affected my contract. It should still remain same. However, we might need to renegotiate for a new contract to be substituted for the old one. Yes, so that it can, take, it can just take precedence over the old one. It can take place over the old contract that I originally had with Roots, and that is called novation. It's just some form of transition that happens. So the customer might decide to agree with the new bank to start a new contract with them, but then it doesn't mean that the already existing contract had had become void. No, it's still standing. It's not void yet. So that's the process.
All right, we will continue the conversation after this break. Stay with us on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM.
Anywhere you go, wherever family. Human Rights Radio 101.1, redefining broadcasting.
Residents of the Federal Capital Territory are reminded of the need to be law-abiding, especially in areas of road use and illegal squatting. Please note that the Ministerial Joint Task Force is mandated to ensure that the existing ban on the use of unpainted vehicles as commercial taxis is enforced, and that of minibuses and coasters alike, to ensure that a complete ban on the use of motorcycles as means of transportation within the capital city centre is enforced, to ensure the restriction of tricycles, keke to estates and designated areas within and around the capital city centre, to ensure the eradication of the activities of commercial sex workers in the city, to ensure the eradication of other public nuisance such as drug trafficking, peddling and removal of all illegal shanties and squatters, to rid the city of illegal motor parks and bus stops within the capital city. Let us together build an FCT of our dreams. Those arrested will be prosecuted. Be law-abiding.
Farmers plus header people. He could make we hear what the minister for FCT, Malam Muhammad Musa Bello talk. Him tell all the people that where they carry cow walk up and down. Make them for go settle for where government give them for grazing for inside FCT. This go help reduce them suffer head to walk up and down. It go there easy for government to feel support them. Make we say no to kili bono plus scatter. The society need headers plus farmers so make food for them for we for all of us to chop. Make headers no enter people farmland. Farmers report anybody when no one hear word. Make it for young way. Make anybody no put the law for them handle. Make we come together to build peace. Now Federal Capital Territory Administration they bring from this message.
Hukumar kula da babban birnin tarayya Abuja na jawo hankalin Fulani makiyaya cewa ya zama wajibi da su bi kiran ministan babban birnin tarayya Malam Muhammadu Musa Bello da su rungumi zama a wuraren da aka keɓe musu don kiwo a yankin domin rage wahalhalun da ke tattare da yadda suke yin sana'arsu a yankin. Zama a wuraren da aka keɓe don kiwo zai kawo musu sauki musamman ta fannin yawan tashi da barin matsuguni domin cirani, kuma zai baiwa gwamnati daman samun su cikin sauki don taimaka musu da ababen da suke bukata kamar al'amuran da suka shafi likitocin da ke kula da dabbobi. Ilahirin al'umma na bukatar makiyaya da manoma domin samun wadatan kayan abinci. Makiyaya a kula da hanyoyin da aka kayyade domin ku a babban birnin tarayya, a kauce ma shiga gonaki. Manoma kuma a bada rahoton duk wanda ya keta wannan dokan. Kar wani ko wasu al'umma su dauki doka a hannunsu. Mu haɗa hannu domin samar da wanzuwar zaman lafiya a tsakaninmu. Wannan sako ne daga hukumar kula da babban birnin tarayya Abuja wato FCTA.
agwo anako kan ba filo FCT na Abuja ege owe minister o be dafe ege yola babwa ka hwe hwa hwe hwa na kwe na ba na tabe je gugbo ba kunsun na hwani hwa japma ege na na ko zokwe na ya hwe FCT na Abuja nu adabe je anyawu kunsun na hwani hukuma FCT na Abuja ba ya hwani lo ba ye anako kan lo mba na hedo na hwani bodo na anako kan hwe jina ba hwe ku ye hukuma akusasaji akuko dada agwo anako kan hwe to lo ahwanu zokon ahwani hwetolo agwo zoko na gaba na baba kamba na kochon hwebe ya na bwado na ba ya mwaiki agwo na hwani hwesase na je lafiya FCT na Abuja bade kwen kwakun ege FCT minister Malam Mohammed Musa Bello.
bandaɓe waynaɓe fulɓe ɗum nangi noto en noddago ministajo lamorde lesdi ndi Mouhamadou Moussa Bello dow waynaɓe fulɓe nattitoade durduɗe ɓe nokkana to lamorde lesdi ndi nde Abuja hakkude mabɓe remoɓe mi heɓa jonde jaam e ɗawta risque takanas to ɓe keeɓi ɓe joɗake ndebi guere nattuki nde ladde wallira kadi gomnati heɓa waɗanaɓe ko handi annaɓe to jaamo mabɓe e nanta dabbaji mabɓe bandaɓe to en jaaɓu tawe en kaɓa hakkude meɗen e remoɓe nde fina Allah fo leñol lesdi ndi e giɗi gaynako e giɗi demowo gin jonde jaam e jahargal yesso risque mayri bandaɓe waynaɓe jaaɓe jooɗo en to darduɗe ɗe e lamorde lesdi ndi Abuja nokkani e gam jahargal yeso hakkunde meɗen e remoɓe to komo fu jaɓa nangire aybe de handaki en fu meɗen en kawtu koɓe de rastinki resku lamorde lesdi ndi Abuja lilal ɗon ngal ardungal lamorde lesdi ndi Abuja lildani en.
Join our diverse team of legal experts as we provide education and guidance to you, our listeners, on a broad array of issues raised by the modern legal landscape, absolutely free on Probono Chambers, airing on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Human Rights Radio.
Thank you for staying with us. We are right here on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, and the program continues. It's Probono Chambers, and it is exactly 27 minutes into the 10 o'clock hour. My name is Ruth, and the barrister is still here. Yes, you're wondering why I'm picking my words. Okay, it happens every now and then. Well, if you're just joining in on the conversation, it's Probono Chambers, and today we're looking at change of name by a corporate entity in Nigeria and its legal implications. So we have been having that conversation before we went on that break, and right now we want to okay, here's the question. If a corporate entity, an organization, a company wants to voluntarily change its name, what is the procedure?
Oh, okay.
What kind of reason are you going to give? Is it just any kind of reason, like, okay, we don't like the name anymore, just that we want to change? Or you have to really give something, a reason in accordance to some laws? I don't know.
You have to make an application. In fact, the first stage is, having a board meeting, stating the proposed names of the company, and then
having that board meeting with the company and
company directors and stakeholders in the company, and then they make proposal of the names that they want to change to, and the company lawyer or any lawyer as employed by the company would do the name search. An individual can actually do the name search on the portal. So you do a name search where with a form CAC1, where you're going to have to reserve the name if approved, by the Corporate Affairs Commission. That's to ensure that the name does not conflict with any existing name or a trademark or any business registered here in Nigeria. So if the name is approved by CAC, then you have to also put an application seeking for the consent of the Corporate Affairs Commission, that's the Registrar General, in the change of name. And in seeking for that consent, you have to attach your documents, like the old certificate of incorporation. You have to attach the approved name, that's on the CAC Form 1. You have to attach the evidence of annual returns, attach your evidence of payments of the prescribed fees. You have to also attach the resolution that was agreed on, that was resolved on by the company, stating that there was a collective agreement on this change of name by the members of the board. And you make the submission in the Corporate Affairs Commission, waiting for approval. And if it's approved, your certificate of incorporation would be given to you, and the certificate of incorporation will be given to you with the new name and a new RC number. The certificate of incorporation, after giving to you, you have to make publication in the National Gazette, so that people's attention can be drawn to the fact that there's been a change of name, there's been a new restructuring in the company. The attention should be drawn. And also, you can now, continue with your business. However, like I said earlier, it does not affect with already existing businesses, or contracts with the company. It doesn't affect it at all. So that's just the process as it is.
All right. If you have questions you want to ask, this is the time for you to do that. It's exactly 10:30 a.m. this Tuesday morning on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, and it's Probono Chambers. Like I said some minutes ago, we're looking at change of name by corporate entity in Nigeria. If you have any questions in this regard, feel free to call in and ask your questions, or if your questions are related or aren't related to this conversation or this topic instead, you can still call in and ask, as long as it has anything and everything to do with legal matters. That's what we're here for. So call the number 08189991011. That is 08189991011. Okay, let's see who we have here. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Okay, that's very noisy. Can you...
Yeah, I have questions concerning yesterday's discussion.
What's your name, please?
Changing of name.
Okay.
My own.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, what's your name?
My name is Ibrahim.
Okay, Ibrahim, go ahead.
Now, my problem is that in my certificate, birth certificate, primary school, secondary school, and entry certificate, my name is Mohammed Malawi Ibrahim. The name appears on the certificate.
Okay.
But in my degree, the name changed. Ibrahim Mohammed Malawi.
Okay.
What can I do to correct the name?
What?
Yeah, what can
I
he do
said
to
the name
correct the name?
appear in my
Okay.
certificate. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I heard you. Ibrahim, can you hear
In
me?
my primary school, primary school, secondary school, entry certificate. My bank, everything is Mohammed Malawi Ibrahim.
Okay, so listen. Just listen, okay? She will explain to you.
Okay.
All right.
So what is safe for you to do? It's a reconciliation of name. Stating that all of these names, as it's arranged, is your name, and that they are one and same person, and that all documents bearing the said names remains valid. That's what you need to do. You can as well go and do a publication after doing the reconciliation of name, but that's what you need to do. Just reconcile the names and the documents.
And the reconciliation process is how?
You're just going into the court and swearing to an affidavit, reconciling your name. That's just the process. So then you can go further and do the publications.
Okay, I hope you got that right, Mohammed. Hello? Hello? Okay. For some reasons, we could not connect properly with you. You can call back 081-8999-1011. That's the number to call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. What's your name?
Oh, my name is Celestine.
All right, Celestine.
Calling from Abuja.
Okay.
But there's an issue I want to explain to you so that you advise me.
Okay.
Hello?
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I have an issue. I did a business, and they are supposed to ship it from China down to Lagos. So the shipping company mistakenly, they put the goods on cargo while we settle the price of shipping. So now they are demanding that I should pay money for cargo, which is very expensive to me. So I've been trying to resolve it with the company, but it seems like they don't want us to resolve it amicably. So I don't know what you will advise me on it.
What was the agreement with them as concerns the shipping? What was your agreement, your previous agreement with them as it concerns the shipping?
Is that they are going to ship it through shipping, and the receipt they gave to us is through shipping. Actually, through shipping is supposed to be around 80,000 naira. But what they are demanding through cargo now is like 300 and something thousand.
Okay. I think you can get a lawyer to call them and ask them to stick with your agreements. However, if there's a need for alteration, then you guys can now bear the equal liabilities. So call a lawyer to put up a court to them.
Sharing the loss.
Yeah, sharing the profits and loss, whatever the case is. If they have to ship it through a means that you guys did not agree in the specified agreements, then they should share equal responsibility as you. So get a lawyer to call them and speak with them on your behalf.
Okay.
So that you can still maintain your relationship. Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you for calling. Probono Chambers on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM 08189991011. That is the number to call. It's time for us to entertain your calls, and that's what we're doing right now. So call in and ask your questions. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ruth.
Welcome.
Good morning, Barrister Dana.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Jamil.
Jamil,
okay.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. My question goes like this. In the case of changing of name of a company, right?
Yes.
Do you need to pay an extra money? And I heard that you said the RC number too is going to be changed. So what if a single company try to change its own name to another name? Does that company need another RC number? What happened to the previous RC number? That is the question.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Yeah.
It's
Ruth?
Yeah?
Yeah, let's meet in the lab. Yeah, we'll extra something.
Okay. No problem. We'll meet there.
Okay. So, Jamil, it's not my position to know what happens to the previous RC number and the name.
Yeah, but why are they changing it?
It's getting changed because you're going to be getting a new certificate, and every certificate has an RC number. And that is the procedure by the Corporate Affairs Commission, that the new name will come, but the new RC number will have to accompany the name on the certificates. So I don't know what happens.
Assuming when you register, the RC number is like a serial number or what? Like, okay, you're registering your number 3000 on the register. So
kind of something like that.
If you're changing your name, and if you're fortunate that you did it almost immediately, then you could come like 3000.
It's not possible.
Okay, yeah, but then that's what
it's
I'm saying.
It's not possible. So Jamil, I don't know what happens to the name and the previous RC number, but that's the change of name. When it occurs, there's an alteration in.
So it affects everything.
Yeah, the certificate and the memo, and also the articles of association, as the case may be. So that's what happens. But what happens to the old one, I don't know. What do you use it for?
Well, I mean, if the name is changing, what can we say about the RC number? Hello.
Hello.
Good morning to you. Welcome. What's your name?
Please, am I on to Human Rights Radio?
Yes, this is Human Rights Radio, and the program is Probono
Chambers. And I'm following it
Chambers.
quite all right. I have a problem with the shares I bought with Osonic Bank. So right now, Osonic Bank has been converted to Eco Bank. Hello, ma.
We're
Yes,
listening.
we're listening.
Hello, ma.
Yes,
Can
we're
you
listening.
hear us?
We're listening.
Yes, I heard. So right now, we are hearing Eco Bank now instead of Osonic Bank. I don't know how to go about the shares. And I bought the shares when I was a student.
Okay.
Okay, I've earned money. So up to now, I don't hear anything about the shares again.
Do you have your share certificates?
They said we should register this one with one broker. Then I was in Mina. I registered with the person. Then the other one in Dangote, I still have the certificate.
Okay, but do you have the one for the Eco Bank?
The one for the Oceanic Bank.
Oceanic Bank, now Eco Bank.
Yes, it's not with me. It's not probably with me. I registered it with a broker in Mina.
Okay, I think you should try and make contact with your broker.
Okay.
Then, try and make contact with your broker, know what the position is, and then I'm sure they would tell you what to do next. There were procedures for persons who had shares in those banks then, and they were called upon to come and, state their status and get fixed.
Okay.
So I think get in contact with your broker.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, I'm Yakubu Olowuni by name, sir.
All right.
All right.
Good morning, Yakubu.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling.
You are welcome. Thank you.
Okay. So, Colleen, let's get more. We want to hear from you. We want to know those things that are of concern to you when we are talking about legal matters. Hello.
Hello, good morning, ma.
Good morning to you. Welcome.
My name is Aminu Ismail.
Your name is?
Aminu Ismail.
Okay. Aminu,
Good
can
morning.
you please be more audible?
Okay, I'm an agronomist.
Okay.
So, me and one of my colleagues, we registered a company some years ago,
Okay.
but we've not been using it. But I just want to ask you a question whether our registration is still effective.
All right. You can conduct a public search on the company. You go to the site of Corporate Affairs Commission and you would click on the public search, conduct a public search on the company. You would see if your company is still there. You see the RC number and the address, the registered address.
It was an enterprise.
You still get it on the public search.
Okay, public search. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So if you want to get further status of the company, you have to visit the company, Corporate Affairs Commission. So you make an application to get.
But is there a time frame? I mean, if they notice perhaps that, can they know that the company is not functioning?
20 years.
Okay, so in like 20 years, then
if
everything.
Your company, yes, is not functioning, your company will be extinguished.
Okay.
But you can call for it to come back to life. You can.
What if they have reassigned it to someone? Maybe someone came after you after those 20 years, and then he came with the same name, but because
that's
they know yours is,
you've been notified. You know, that your company is
being
going to liquidate. Not
Okay.
liquidated.
Why did you have to say that?
Not liquidated. That's why I said extinguished. It dies a natural death.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome. What's your name?
Human Rights Radio.
Yes, this is Human Rights Radio. What's your name?
Okay, my name is Sylvester.
Sylvester. You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. There is an issue I want to bring to your notice.
Okay.
The FCD, the Administration of Federal Capital Territory, is clamping down on nightclubs. For example, are you there?
Yes, we're
listening. Hear you.
Okay, they called a meeting of nightclub owners on the 19th of this month. In the office of the Permanent Secretary, FCT. And told them that the activities of nightclub has to be brought under control because they sell alcohol. According to them, they say they sell alcohol.
Okay. Hello, we're listening.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay. I think we lost that call there.
Yeah, to respond to that, as he spoke to the point where we listened, a state or a country has a right to make laws that it's for the well-being of its citizens. If they want you to curtail what you sell in the nightclub because it's for the benefit of the citizens, or they want you to curtail the noise as it is, and then they had called you for a meeting, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay.
Yes. I don't think there's anything wrong, except where, you know, it had affected you personally to cut out your profits, and it's not going to be to the disadvantage of the citizens. Then you can bring an action. But where it's going to affect the citizens negatively, you know, and put more money in your pockets, and they had called your attention to curtail. They're not telling you to stop. They're telling you to reduce.
Okay. Because I wanted to, I mean, what
Exactly.
if it's nothing that is, what if it's something that is not illegal? I mean,
That's
we'll
it.
all
So
have our preferences, and
exactly.
but then what you're doing is not illegal, and yet
it's not
they
illegal,
want
but
to,
they want you. They're not asking you to stop. They're asking you to reduce. So, I think they have a right to do that. But they
So
can't
at this
ask
point,
you
if
to
you're
stop your
advising him,
business.
if you're advising him, you tell him to go on, listen to.
Yeah.
I mean, have the meeting. you
Yeah,
know,
go on
and-
with the meeting and listen to what their proposals are.
Okay.
And make sure you give your opinions. You know, tell them whatever it is that is your concern, as it's going to affect your business. And then if it doesn't suit you, or whatever you're doing, it's not illegal to the point that it's going to affect the citizens so negatively, then you can move and get an action against whatever committee or association that are called for that meeting, as the case may be. But then they have a right to call you out to curtail certain things. You know, you're talking about a nightclub. I'm sure wherever it is, they might want you to just reduce.
Hello?
Yeah, I lost you.
Oh, okay.
What I was saying is that they are not curtailing.
Okay.
They said they don't want nightclubs in the town anymore, and they gave them 1 month to fold up. You can investigate what I am telling you. But then I see it as an Islamic agenda, because some section of the country do not take alcohol.
Slow down.
Some do. That is not why they should impose their wish on the people. For example, I am a Christian. I club. I do alcohol. My religion does not forbid consumption of alcohol. So those whose religion forbid the consumption of such things shouldn't impose their will on the others.
Okay.
Are you with me? That's
yes.
not curtailing.
Well, we've heard you.
It's not a case of curtailing. It's a case of stopping.
Okay, we have heard you, and like you said, to investigate. We'll see what we can investigate about that.
Yeah.
But my thoughts, my concern is just that, let's not be quick to, like you said, it's what you think. It's not like they told you it's a religious thing here. Okay, so yeah, it could be it could not, it may not be. So until then, let's just see if we can, really investigate and understand what could be going on. All right, I think we have room for another call. Hello. Hello.
Jamil calling back again.
Oh, hi, Jamil.
Quickly.
Yeah. Okay. I still don't understand the change of the IC, because I thought the IC number is going to be like a serial number. Like if I have a radio station, for example, like the news radio station, and my IC number is 3 and the other person that's going to register after me, I think it's going to be taking the second number. Maybe if my own is 111, that person will be like 1112. Something like it. I think that was supposed to be like,
well, like she
like
said,
a serial
it's
number.
not a serial number, yeah? It's not, is it?
I have no idea how CAC generates his RC number, Jamil.
Jamil, why are you so
about the RC number?
Yeah, why are you so particular about it? The RC number is
I have no idea
not
how
the company
it's generated.
name.
Yeah. But what we're talking about is your change of name as a corporate entity. So if your change of name will affect the RC number, it's in the purview of the Corporate Affairs Commission to answer that part of the question. So I think, Jamil, you have to make an application, a formal application to the RG of that, the Registrar General of the Corporate Affairs Commission, requesting for how the RC number is generated, why the RC number has to change when you're doing your change of name, and if the RC number is a serial number for your certificate. I'm sure they are in a better position to answer that. I can't answer that.
All right, Jamil, you heard that. So just keep our fingers crossed. If you're able to do that, you should
please
get
notify
back to
us. Yeah.
I think there was something else we asked him to, when he confirms, get back to us. I'm not sure he has done that yet.
I don't
So Jamil, you're just piling things up for yourself. We hope that someday you come and declare all of those things. I'm afraid we can't speak any more calls at this point. This should be the size of Probono Chambers for this morning, except for further important information you may want to share or add to the conversation.
Oh, wow. Okay. Further information to add is that just like every individual has a legal right to change their name, so do corporate entities also have a legal right to change their names. However, don't change your name to violate the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act. Make sure it's in line with the provisions of Section 31 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act as it is.
Which says what, and why should you not violate it, and how can you actually violate it?
Yes, that provision, had stated that names, you should not, when you're registering names, it shouldn't be identical with already existing names. Okay. It shouldn't conflict with any names. There are restricted names you should not register with. You cannot register your organization with the government's structure, like the government. You can't register a limited company with the futures of a government agency.
Okay.
Without taking the necessary permission. You cannot, so there are restricted names, there are prohibited names. Don't register any company that is already existing to be registered here in Nigeria as a trademark or as a business name without the consent of the owner of such company. So all of that, you have to conform and you have to comply with that. If you are going to be violating that, that would amount to an illegal action, and you know what the consequences would be. The consequences is you'll be taken to court, there will be restraint order for you to use the company name, or you'll be compulsorily asked or directed to change the name to another name, and that will be a lot of issues for you. So make sure that whatever names you're going to be working with should be the names that would comply with the provisions of the Company and Allied Matters Act. And make sure you get a consent of the RG to change your name from the Corporate Affairs Commission.
Registrar General. Okay, especially for those who want to find out about the RC and all that. Okay, thank you, Barrister Adana, and many thanks to those who call in as well. We'll do this again tomorrow, God willing. Stay with us. In the next hour, it will be time for Media Lab, and I will be back at that time. In the meantime, just enjoy some music and stay with us on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. My name is Ruth.
Join our diverse team of legal